Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Senior Cat Wellness. Today, we are talking about something that almost every cat owner notices pretty early on. Cats, well, they sleep a lot. I mean, if you've ever looked over at your cat in the middle of the afternoon and thought, are you ever actually awake? You are certainly not imagining things. Most cats, they do sleep somewhere between 12 and roughly 16 hours per day. And some cats, especially kittens and older felines, they can sleep as much as 20 hours per day. Yes, and that's out of a 24-hour period. So today in this video, we're going to take a look at why that actually happens. Why do cats actually need so much sleep? Is it just mere laziness, or is there something a whole lot more behind it? Let's start things off with the basics, a bit of the standards, if you will. Domestic cats, as relaxed as they do seem now, well, they do come from a very long line of hunters. Even though they live indoors and eat food from a bowl and spend their time lounging around the windows and your carpet and your legs on your sofa, they are still very much biologically wired like wild felines. Their bodies and instincts are still built for that survival, even though they no longer have to fight for it. So, in the wild outdoors, cats would have to hunt to eat. That's really the only option they have. You either hunt to eat or you really don't eat at all. And hunting, well, it's not like just grazing around for food. It's very high energy. It's a high energy task. Think of it as running the hurdles in the Olympics against the best of the best, the most elite competition. Stalking, chasing, pouncing. And on top of that, if they don't succeed every time, like I said, if they don't succeed, they don't eat. Takes a lot of short and powerful bursts of energy to catch prey, and because of that, wild cats learned they have to conserve their energy between hunts by resting and sleeping a lot, hours at a time. Domestic cats don't need to hunt for their food anymore, obviously, but that energy conservation, the conserving of the energy, that instinct is still very much built in, it's hardwired. Even if the only thing your cat is chasing is a toy mouse around your living room floor, their brain is still telling them, hey, you better rest now because you'll need that energy for the hunt just a bit later. Another extremely important thing to understand is that cats are crepuscular. That's right, crepuscular. That's a word that gets thrown around a lot in the cat world. I'm not sure if I've ever used it on this channel before. I think I've done almost 850 videos, so I probably have. But what it really means is that just felines are naturally more active during the early morning and evening around dawn and around dusk. That's when small prey animals are usually out and about, so it makes sense from a feline hunting perspective. If you've ever been awake around 5 a.m. or woken up at 5 a.m. by your cat just running through the hallway or knocking stuff down or maybe hitting the bedroom door with their forehead, that timing is not a random thing. You can probably count on it in that moment and perhaps the next morning to happen. It's very much built in. So if felines are most alert during those twilight hours, well, it only naturally makes sense that they're going to sleep for most of the day when you are up and about, and those prime time hours, perhaps while you're watching TV on the sofa. Now let's talk about the actual kind of sleep the cats get. Is it a deep sleep all the time for all 15, 16, 20 hours a day? No, not all of it is deep sleep. In fact, most of their sleep, around 70 to 75%, is quite light. This means they're resting, but they're still very much alert. They might look like they're totally out of it, but you'll notice little things like the tail twitching, the ears twitching, the whiskers moving, perhaps their eyes even opening slightly to look around and then closing them and curling back up. That's because they're still partially awake and fully around of their surroundings. The other 30 to 35% is that REM, that REM sleep, the deeper sleep where actual true rest and recovery does take place. This is when the dreaming also takes place. You might see your cat twitch a bit here as well, but this is a bit different. This is when they are totally out of it and in that dreamland, that dream state, the paws and the whiskers and the tail moving all about, why they are in fact very much asleep. That is very normal. It's actually a good sign that they're getting that deep rest, that quality sleep that they need so much. Kittens, they spend even more time in REM sleep than adult felines because they're growing fast mentally, physically, in all ways, and sleep certainly helps with that development. Their bodies need time to grow and their brains need time to process all the new things that they're learning each and every day, every second of the day. Older felines, senior cat wellness, on the other hand, they often sleep more than they did in their younger years, but for a very different reason. As cats age, they slow down a bit or a lot as they get to those golden years, those senior years, and just like older people, senior cats, they have less energy and they may move a lot slower. And as a result, they need more rest to feel good, to feel normal, let's call it. And it's just part of the natural aging process for both people and for felines. Another factor that affects how much a cat sleeps is the environment. Cats that live indoors usually sleep more than outdoor cats. That's because indoor environments are naturally safer, quieter, and very much more predictable. There's less that they need to stay awake and to stay alert for. No predators sneaking up behind them, no unexpected sounds, and certainly no weather changes blowing through that living room. Outdoor cats, or even indoor-outdoor, those indoor split, let's call it, the cats that roam the yard in the afternoon perhaps, they may sleep just a tad less because they're dealing with naturally more stimulation, using their senses a lot more and certainly staying more alert to what's happening or what can happen to the environment around them as a whole, often using more physical energy to move about. It's the same with cats who live in busier homes or multi-pet homes, cats that live with children in the home. And like I said, other pets, other cats, when there's a lot of activity, they might be more stimulated mentally and physically during the day, which can affect not only how much they sleep, but when they actually sleep. And with all that said, sometimes cats sleep more simply because they're bored. If your cat is left alone most of the day with nothing to do, they're just going to sleep away the day to pass the time. This doesn't mean something's wrong with them, but it's just a good reminder to add some mental and physical stimulation to your pet's daily routine, even just maybe 20 to 30 minutes of playtime per day with that feather wand toys, the ball, and all the other things your cat enjoys. Perhaps a cardboard box where they could have a little fun time. You can also give them access to windows to look out at their favorite bird. Those little cat trees, a scratching post, perhaps a puzzle feeder, just things to keep their minds engaged and their bodies. Little activities that can keep them sharp in every aspect and reduce the chance of just sleeping the day away out of boredom and boredom alone. Now let's talk about breed and your cat's personality, because just like people, cats have different energy levels depending on who and really what they are. Some cats are naturally more energetic, while other breeds and cats are just a little more laid back. Breeds like the Bengal and the Siamese are more curious by nature and active. They like to explore and climb and play around. They might sleep just a bit less. On the other hand, the Ragdoll or the Persian, they are known for being just a bit calmer and are perfectly happy sleeping that day away. But even within breeds, a personality, as so many things we've talked about on this channel when it comes to different topics, sometimes personalities can trump most anything that you're talking about because it's just who they are and what they do. It can override a lot of things. Some cats are just naturally more social and more engaging. A lot of this depends on how they were raised and who they were raised by, especially if it comes to being friendly around people or knowing around people, knowing to trust a lot of people. Some cats just love to be in on the action, and they'll do that. They'll want to do that more than they'll want to nap. Neither is better, neither is worse. It all just depends on the individual cat, the cat in question. So with all of that said, is there a time where your feline's sleeping habits should be of a major concern? Because we've already said that's 16, 17, 20 hours per day. That's normal. So what is abnormal? Short answer is yes. If you notice a rather sudden and stark change in your sleeping, the cat's sleeping habits, especially after owning your cat for many years and expecting the same thing each and every day. If your cat suddenly starts sleeping away the day more than usual or far less, pay attention, especially if that change comes with other signs, like their refusal to eat, perhaps hiding in the house, hiding in odd places, acting irritable, not being themselves. There's a stark change in their overall personality. A big change in sleep can be a sign of pain. Your cat's in physical pain, stress and anxiety of something's going on in the environment that they picked up on that they're not a fan of, and of course an underlying health concern. It could be something as simple, and I've mentioned this a million times here on the channel, as that change in daily routine. Something that you find very subtle and almost insignificant could be something that could turn their whole world upside down. Or, unfortunately, it could also be something that needs the attention of a professional, of a vet, if a health issue is the reason. The key is to watch for the changes. Be keen on your cat when it comes to what you know, because if you've owned your cat for any length of time, you know the normal. Well, you know what the normal looks like and what it feels like. You know your cat's baseline behavior. So going off that baseline, pay attention to changes that are stark in nature and something that is just not right, because you're going to know what the day-to-day looks like when it's normal. So anything that's outside of those bounds, pay close attention and act accordingly. Most cats are very consistent once they settle into that daily routine. So if something seems off, trust your gut and act. Overall, the takeaway here is this: cats sleep a lot more because they're built to sleep a lot more. It's not necessarily a flaw in the system, and it's not a sign of laziness. It's actually, as a whole, a sign that your cat is well and healthy and safe and comfortable in their space. If they're sleeping between that, say, 12 and 18, 16 and 20, depending on how old they are, if they're sleeping in that hour range each day, that's nothing to worry about, especially if it's been consistent through most of their life and it is only changing with age. The feline body is designed for rest between short bursts of activity like that hunting and stalking we mentioned, and their instincts are tuned to the natural rhythm that's what's been around the feline world for thousands of years. As long as your pet seems happy and wide awake when they are awake and is eating normally, grooming, using the litter box properly, and then they fall asleep after all is done, all is well, that's totally normal. That's just the average day for a cat. With all that said, it's your turn. To the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, what are your personal thoughts on this topic? Any personal stories involving your cat and their sleep schedule and their daily routine? The comment section, as always, it's all yours. If you enjoyed this video and didn't fall asleep, please give the video a like and share it out, and subscribe to Senior Cat Wellness. And until next time, we will talk to you later.